Hey there, Internet. Keith here, and welcome to the Cars with Keith YouTube channel. And in this video, we're doing what I love again, trying out a brand new pressure washer to the US market. This is the Big Boi Duo. My last video was on the Big Boi Pro. That video is doing quite well. A lot of people are liking it, liking the product. This is the, I don't know, the word is prosumer. The Pro is a commercial grade, so it's not always about performance. It's about longevity, the 4-pole motor and the pump all combined together to last lots and lots and lots of washes. This is the, you could say the cheaper version of that unit because the footprint is the exact same. The bottom bracket here is the same bracket, the same mounting holes, and the motor is the exact same size as the one on the Pro. It's just a difference in the 2-pole versus the 4-pole. So I would also think that it'd be a slightly different sound, more louder. I believe the box says it's less than 90 dB. The box for the Pro says less than 80 dB. And people asked in the last video about noise. The problem is it's hard to judge the decibels because the pressure washer water on the Pro was louder than the model. So the flow from the pressure washer was interrupting the decibels, so I really couldn't get a good reading. It's a pressure regulator, so basically just min, it's just basically gonna spit water, and then max is its most power. But when you go max, make sure you go as far as it is. Even use a wrench to go slightly more, because that could be the difference in 100 psi not having it fully maxed. So between that Pro and this Duo, one of the other big things is it's a little bit imbalanced. The Pro has a much larger pump, much more weight on this side. It's very light on this side and very heavy on this side. If you're putting it on the shelf and you know your mounting brackets aren't balanced enough, it could cause an imbalance in weight. It has an oil filler right here, the red, that is only for shipping. Just like I said in the last video or any video with these, you take the red one out and you replace it with the black one that comes with it. This is a breather valve. This allows it to relieve pressure. Now, it doesn't have a sight glass to let you know the oil level, but it does have a dipstick on the back here. It's just got a really simple prong on the end. If it's got oil on it, you're good to go. You can actually see the oil level just sitting right here. Now, just like the Pro, it takes 10W30 or 15W40. So your 15W40, if you're in a much hotter climate, so you're probably gonna run that heavier weight, non-detergent oil. It does come with a 3-inch quick disconnect already up front. And the orientation of the pump, this is an axial pump. The Pro has a triplex pump. So both of the inlet and the outlet are both together on the side, which I kind of don't like. They're too close together. Axial pumps don't have as long of a lifespan as a triplex, but it's still a really good pump. I don't know about replaceability on these parts, but a lot of times these, just the entire mechanism is just replaceable. On the back, you have a 40, a 25, a 15, and 0 degree, and they're all 4.0 orifices. Nice little grommets on the back to hold them. Like the Pro, 15-foot cable, good and bad. On a wall setup, if the outlet is close enough, it could be good because you don't have as much cord to hide. But if you need the length, and if you use an extension cord, I would always suggest using a 12 gauge. Comes with your foam cannon, really nice top, smooth, doesn't hurt your hands, much larger, easier to turn. Has a quick disconnect on the back that's O-ringed. You don't have 360-degree turning, but you do have the ability to change from that stream to a wide open fan. Very large neck. As you can see here, we have incredible suds in here already. If you saw the last video on the Pro, you know why this is already filled up. I forgot to film myself drop testing it. You know, I'm making sure you're gonna see this thing crash into a million pieces. But it's much larger neck than most foam cannons, and the tube is a little flexible, not a lot flexible. Really good readings on the side in ounces and milliliters. I like clear bottles, but they're just not durable. They barely survive a single drop. That incredible suds is 32-to-1. Cars with Keith will save you 10% on the website. Just a really good cleaning soap. Just currently my favorite. It's been a favorite for quite some time. On the bottom, the feet are really nice. They're almost like suction cups, but they're not suction cups. They sit real nice. They handle vibration. On that base, you have 2 mounting points. So if you don't have a very wide shelf, you can overhang the edges by bringing these feet further in. So it will be able to sit on that edge and you know, you could overhang. But when you're doing that, make sure that your weight is balanced. Now this thing says that it's optimally set up and tuned for you at 1000 psi at exactly 2.0 GPM. So we'll put those numbers to the test. The good is their website is on sale for their 8th birthday, and this is 15% off. It's normally $549. It costs about $65 to ship. But right now it's on 15% off at $467. But problem is, it's sold out on the website. So they have 15% off an item that is sold out. And I believe it's been sold out because the cheaper one, the Pro, still is not sold out yet that I can see. I would rather just go ahead and piece together my ultimate combo when I'm spending this kind of money. And my suggestion is like an SGS 28, a Blue Shield Kevlar hose. I don't do wands, so I would just get like a nozzle guard from Amazon. The new fixed fans is really nice. Just like with the Pro, I wouldn't suggest an Uberflex. I would only suggest Uberflexes as that first hose upgrade as you're moving from your Ryobi Greenworks and you're upgrading that hose. When you get into machines like this, in just my experience so far, the Uberflex, the machines act differently. The ramp up and ramp down times seem longer. The 2.0 surges from time to time, and the ramp down is significantly more. Before we get any further, don't forget to check out the links in the description below for anything in the video. Big Boi currently is only available at Big Boi USA, but hopefully it will be available at other places at some point in the future. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to testing. Okay, we're all hooked up. We have our Blue Shield Kevlar 3-inch hose that's on our fixed fans hose reel. We have the jumper cable going straight to the Big Boi. We have our FlexZilla 5-inch 50-foot hose on our Blue Seal water hose reel going straight into the side here. Now we did weigh it before this, and it does weigh less than a Pro at about 52.5 pounds. So it's right about 7 pounds lighter, and all 7 pounds is from this side right here. Now on the foam cannon, I went ahead and checked, and they say it's a 1.15, and it measured dead on a 1.15. So we'll use their 40 degree 4.0. All my test nozzles are 25 degrees. One of the reasons that I like 25 degree nozzles, but also when it comes to the gallons per minute test, it's not as violent because it's not as spread out. It doesn't hit the walls as much because it's more centered at the bottom of the bucket, not the sides. But we have a 3.0, a 3.5, a 4.5, and a 5.0. So let's check the pressures on those now and the amperage to see if any of those are even viable for the gallons per minute test. Purge. Gotta get that air out. Let's start with the stock 4.0. Turn on for the first time. That's way louder than the Pro. 630 type noise. 1070. I'm already overloading. I'm at 15.59 with their 4.0. What? I thought this was 15 amp unit. I was not expecting to be at like 15.5 already. I guess if you want to be lower, you could take the pressure relief and then, you know, minimize it and to get under the 15, but I don't want to do that. I want max. I want max. I'm definitely not running a 3.0. Here's a 3.5. 17.4 amps. I didn't even see the PSI on that. 1270. You definitely can't go down. Let's try a 4.5. 900. So we go from 1070 at 15.5 amps to just 900 at 14.08 amps. 5.0, I mean, not as much as I thought, 760. And that amp was 12.5. So you could get like 750, 760, 12.5. If the gallons per minute's there, who knows? On what they say is a 15 amp unit, it's already using over 15 amps. But if you have a dedicated 15 amps and you're not running anything else on it, it's not going to trip the 15 at 15.5. So I think you're okay there. But I think you might want to go to a 4.5, or if you can find a 4.2 or a 4.3, it's going to get you under the 15. All right, time for the good old bucket test. And we only have 3 nozzles to do because we can't go down like people had asked because we're already over 15 amps. But we have the stock 4.0, we have the 4.5 and the 5.0. The gallons per minute literally is just an empty bucket on a scale. Once it's on there, we'll tear it out to 0. We'll spray for exactly 1 minute and we'll convert the pounds to gallons. Now this has a 1 second ramp up, so we'll let it go like a half a second beyond a minute because it does shoot water in the first second, but it's not like full pressure. So we kind of make up that difference that way. We're gonna run their stock 4.0. I'll tell you this, that thing running for a straight minute on this bench, that's loud. And you hear it is vibrating everything. 17.26 is 2.068 gallons per minute. That's 2.07 gallons per minute. Think about that. The Pro, the max it could do was 2.07 at 850. This was 1070 at 2.07. And they promised 1,000 at 2.0. We exceeded both of those with their nozzle, but you know what the problem is? We also exceeded the amperage. So I think if they had a 4.2, they could get that closer to 1,000 PSI, and right at 2 gallons per minute, you'd be dead on that. All right, we're zeroed out, 4.5. 17.84 is 2.14 gallons per minute at 910 PSI. That's solid cleaning power right there. Like if you're in a 900s, 910, if you just go from a 40 degree to 25 degree, you pick up that cleaning power that you may have lost in that 100 or so PSI. That's not quite AR630, but man, it's up there. That's for sure. That's more than just about anything else out there except for the AR630. All right, here's the last test, 5.0. 18.06, so not as much of an increase, but it's 2.16 gallons per minute at about 760 PSI is what I got. Just for those of you wanting to know about sound levels, normally pressure washer hitting the floor, hitting a panel is right around 85 decibels. And it was 85 decibels the whole time with the Washer Pro, so I really couldn't get a good reading. But this is the decibel reading on that from about 8 feet. .89 decibels. I would think that the Pro is close to what they said at right around 80 decibels, and this they said is right around 90. So they're within what they say it is. So we were at the point we were in the last video, and with a 1.15, the Pro did 13 amps. I'm expecting significantly more with this nozzle size, but I'm also expecting way more foam. Yeah, that is way thicker than the last one. Obviously, you can't tell that much, but I've seen such thick foam that it looks like you're stuccoing the side of your house. Oh my gosh, 17.8 amps. Who ships a product, says it's a 15 amp machine, ships a nozzle that does 15.5, and a foam cannon that does 17.8? So I found a 1.42. This is the biggest that I have. It's more for a gas pressure washer, but it works really good with anything that uses with the AR630 because of the high GPM. Foams really well, but it keeps the amps down. And there you go. You can see with a 1.4 how it foamed. You didn't need the 1.15 to get the good foam. Yeah, that's 14.4 amps. So yeah, that's probably the safest one that you're going to want to get. This is the 4.5. I can't even remember. I think it's like 2.1, 2 gallons per minute. Really, really good numbers. Yeah, I think that's that good mix. That's that good mix between that 910 PSI and like 2.1, 2.12 gallons per minute. All right, so this is at 1.3, so that's 15.3-ish amps. Now, if you can find you a 135, a true 135, I think it's going to put you right at 15 or just under 15 and get you that right amount. Yeah, that's some pretty good foam right there. I think we all know what this means, and I promised that I was going to record for the drop test. Now, I used to drop empties but they don't do that much damage. We're just going to do straight up. Hey, I filled my foam can all the way up. I'm walking over to my car, and oops! Ooh, first try. There we go. We've lost all of our incredible studs. Just for heck of it, show you the stock nozzle, even though it's overamp. The machine can handle it. I have a 20 amp. I'm not really worried about that. I'm just worried about somebody at home on a 15 amp having to constantly go to their breaker and re-trip it. Now, if you're on a clean circuit and not running a whole lot on a 15 amp, you might not trip it at 15 and a half. Not bad, works, just over what they stated. Kind of an expected and unexpected here. I was expecting good numbers. I saw the machine and what it was. I think we might be able to get slightly better GPM with the nozzle changes versus a 4-pole. But on the other end of the spectrum, I was not expecting it to be as loud as it was. And I was not expecting them to drop the ball on not being a 15 amp machine. Again, unless you're rounding down from 15.5 amps down to 15. But with the foam cannon, like, that's irresponsible to send somebody a foam cannon to 17.8 amps. You're going to need a 135 or higher orifice nozzle on the foam cannon. They got a little lazy. They went with what they could find. Everything comes in 3.5s, 4.0s, 4.5s. So they said, well, we'll pick the closest one. We'll be close to the 15 amps. So that's the one big knock outside of the noise. But I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Really good numbers. The numbers, to me, and the performance outweighs that, because as we go higher, we're lowering our own RPM, our own amps anyway. So we're fixing our own issue. And when you're buying something like this, you're more likely to have already upgraded something before, or you kind of know what's going on here. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video, and I'll see you in the next video. We are going over the oh man, I totally lost track. Dipstick, and it's a very man, I swear, as kids, they flush at the most inopportune time. Went through a whole almost 2 hour long podcast with Easy Details Eddie and JB, and like no noise the entire time. I start to film, that happens. What in the world is up with your coordination? Before we get any further into the video, don't forget to check out the links in the script. Before we get any further into the video, don't forget to check out the links for any. So before we get any further, but everything else in the video, the Amazon. Oh my God, look at that. Come on, you are not in the right menu. Figure it out, dude. Let's go. All right. Oh, 7.83. Oh, that's kilograms. That's 7.83. I'm like, what the crap? It's in kilograms. Let's put on pounds. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I just get going in my head and I forget to empty the bucket.